there's still a strange amount of like animosity towards people with mental illness, which I don't really understand. You know, there's a lot of this like weird British like stiff upper lip, like, oh, just pull yourself up by the bootstraps and like get on with it. Like when it comes to other people talking about it, it did always feel kind of isolating. It kind of added to the isolation when people, you could see, because it's always obvious when somebody knows. Or you're very self-conscious already. You feel like you're acting weird, like, and you can't really relate to other people.
Yeah.
You know, I spent like years not really feeling connections to people and just kind of like going through a script.
Yeah.
Feeling like I was pretending to be a person, and then you feel like that person knows. They're like, oh, I'm not doing a good job of pretending.
Yeah.
Like they can see through it, and then if they don't mention anything, like you're never going to. You're going to say, oh, sorry if I'm a bit weird because I have like a mental illness. So I think people get nervous about it, like you said, because they don't know if it would be uncomfortable, if maybe it's better not to draw attention to it. I think it's kind of a judgment call in the moment. I always found if people could just address it, they made it a bit better. Just to get, it's like an elephant in the room, and if you can just like point it out and say that it's there, then it just wasn't quite so bad after that. Because you weren't self-editing all the time, being so self-critical. It's like, oh, they know. So my friends that knew that I wasn't very well, I always felt healthier around.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't trying to pretend not to be.
Yeah.
For me, there were certainly times where I was like almost crying out for help, but no one could see it, and if they could, they didn't ask. And if someone had have done, then it would have meant the world. So when that doesn't happen, it can feel very isolating and very lonely. So I guess it's a judgment call, but if it's a friend of yours or someone that you care about, then just ask them. Like, then no one's going to be upset if you're checking if they're okay. Through my counselling, that was kind of something I learned, was because I always went into it with a negative mindset of it being something wrong and something bad that needed addressing and changing. And it was through my sessions there that I kind of learned that it wasn't something bad. It was just a part of me that was kind of a juxtaposition to the rest of me, and it's creating this friction.
Yeah.
But once you kind of address that and smooth it out, then it's not a negative thing per se.
Yeah.
You just need to turn it to your own way of being.
Yeah.
That's something that's really important to remember. That was always difficult for me, and it's difficult for everybody.
Yeah.
That like you're never alone, despite the fact that maybe your head's telling you that you are, and you feel like you are because it feels like everyone else is a million miles away. That's just a lie that your condition will tell you, but it's not true, and it never was. But I mean, I appreciate that when you're in the eye of the storm, that's a very, very difficult thing to remember.
Exactly.
But what I found time and time again was if you reach out, someone will be there. It might not always be the person you expect, but there will always be somebody there. And when you are going through counselling, you have that person. But if you're on a waiting list, like there will still be somebody.
Yes. Yeah.
You just need to put the word out.
Yeah.
Which is the scary step.
Yeah.
But there's really no reason to go through it on your own. In terms of speaking out about it in this kind of form, it's something I've always wanted to do, because when I was going through it, there wasn't anything, and it would have been really helpful to see just a guy, just like another guy,
someone like you,
just another person who's like, yeah, I've been there. Like I didn't ever think I could be okay, but I am now, and like it's not a big deal. You know, I'm not. It doesn't define who I am. It's something that happened to me. It's something I went through. It's something that I dealt with, and it has helped to define who I am. But it's no longer on my mind, except when I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's in the same way that you can talk about that time you fell out of a tree when you were a kid and you like broke your leg. It doesn't affect you now, but it taught you to maybe be more careful when you're climbing trees. It's the same, that it doesn't affect me on a day-to-day basis, but it's something I went through. And I feel like if I had seen somebody talking openly and calmly about it, then it would have helped to normalize it somewhat
Mm-hmm.
and remove that stigma.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel any shame now
Mm-hmm.
about it. I don't feel any stigma, even when other people do react oddly, which they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a case of reacting calmly and explaining things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that by being an advocate and talking about it, then I can get rid of those assumptions and help to kind of put forward that it's okay, that it can happen to anybody, and that you'll be fine. You just gotta stick it out and get help when you need it because it's there.